Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I am Tanika, and today we're going to be discussing Love is Blind, episode 3. And let's just get right into it. So it's probably going to be the one episode because, my lord, there's so much with these episodes. So let's just get into it. So, Love is Blind, season 7, episode 3. Is it too late? So, back at the reveal with Garrett and Taylor, they kiss immediately. He gets down on a knee and he proposes again, gives her the ring. And she says, my mom's name is Fong, Fong, and she's from Hong Kong. And he had no clue of what her race could have been. Whether or not he was guessing, I don't know. She is very tall. She's 5'9", and he is 6 foot. And I did notice here with them, like, she's very quiet, but I do wonder if it was maybe the nerves. I don't know. But she just seemed to be into him. So there's that. So just to let everyone know, I am going to be doing the predictions at the end of episode 5, just because that's kind of when we have all of our couples at the end of episode 5. So I'm going to be doing my predictions. Of course, I think a lot of you guys already know who's listening, where we're at. So no spoilers. Gonna get through. And then we'll kind of see where we end up. We're going to take this journey with me as everyone else who knows what happened. So, Ramses and Bodan, they seem to have the same number 1. So they're both number 1s are Marissa. So they're like, I hope you don't have the same number 1. And oh shit, you do. But Bodan talks to Marissa and he's like, I know who you're talking to. But it's all good. They seem to be friends. They seem to have a lot of similarities. So they're fine with it. They talk about what advice the parents, I believe, would give. How much times you've been in love. They have that conversation. She says that she's been in love at least one time. And for him, it was twice. Kind of the first high school love and then his marriage. He uh He did say here, actually, I don't know if we knew this before, but he did say here he's previously married. I'm like, did we know that before? Don't recall us knowing that before. I know Ramses was married before, and we heard that from him, but he is like, you have a thing for guys who have been previously married before, and she's like, shut up, like, think about jokes. And I do kind of feel like they had great chemistry. And I kind of wanted her to pick him. I'm not going to say who she picks yet. Again, I'm sure a lot of you already know, but, so do I. I also know, but I felt like I kind of want her to pick him, but we'll get to it when we get to who she picks. Then Ramses talks to Marissa, and he's like, obviously I know about Bodan, and he does say I did get a little in my head a little bit about the fact that she was talking to somebody else. And he kind of just wanted that reassurance. And she feels strongly for him, for Ramses, and she wants to keep exploring the relationship with him. So she says, so don't fucking break up with me. Okay? They talk about gender roles again, which they've had this conversation before. He says that he is not against, doing domestic things around the house, taking care of the kids. And she says that she's not a stay-at-home mom type. Like, she doesn't want that. She wants to have something for herself. And I totally understand her because I feel the exact same way. And she wants more for herself. And I think I said that already, but she's like, but I am okay with you staying at home with the kids. And he says that he would be good with that, especially if there was like a hybrid job and he's like home with the kids. Like, I think he would never fully choose to not work. I don't think anyone should choose to fully, if that's what you want to do, by all means. But you should never be forced or pushed into doing that. And I'm not saying she's doing that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think he would feel fulfilled either. I don't think she would feel fulfilled being, you know, a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad. I don't think either person would be great with that. So he's like, if I'm home, I'm home. I'm going to take care of the kids too. So, you know, and he says that you are a joy. You are a shining light. And all I could think about was in The Help where you use kind and, you know, things. So, Viola Davis. So I'm like, well, I do like them too. I like Ramses, but I mean, my first choice was Bodan, to be totally honest. So we got Tim and Alex. They both play golf, and he says, like, I'll kick your ass. And she's like, excuse me? She's like, if only you knew that my dad basically wanted me to become the next Tiger Woods, sans cheating, then, like, I'm going to kick your butt. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm still going to kick your ass at golf, though. So they have a great kind of, you know, like chemistry. And they kind of talk about, you know, which movie character would you be? He says that he, or sorry, better yet, this is how it went. She asked him, what movie character do you think I would be? He says, well, you're really into fashion, so I think like you kind of be like the main character in Devil Wears Prada, melanated version. So I thought they had a really good fun conversation, and he does kind of say that, and he says, you know, we've had these really hard, deep conversations, and it's kind of fun to know that we can have these fun conversations as well, because you don't want to always be heavy, you want that lightness as well. So we got Ashley A. We'll just call her Ashley at this point because we only got one Ashley, and Tyler. It's his birthday, and she got him balloons and cake, and he got her flowers. And she reads this letter to him, and it's very sweet. He's very emotional. He's crying while she reads it. And he said it was amazing and it means a lot. And he loves her and he appreciates her. And he then asks her, are you sitting down or standing up? And she says, I'm sitting. And he's like, well, can you stand up for me, please? And then he gets down on a knee and says, will you marry me? And she says, I will be honored to marry you. I'm crying in this. Yeah, I was bawling. And said there is no other way for this to go than for it to work. Okay. And he's like, I got a fiance. Are we engaged? Hell yeah. He's like, I don't care about the birthday. Like, he will, this can go one of two ways. If this works out, right? This will forever be the best day of his life because not only is his birthday, but it's also the day he got engaged. Or if this doesn't work out, it'll forever be tainted. So, anyway. Then we are comparing Brittany to a bunny because she's so cute and cuddly. She says, I used to have a bunny. Okay. Then we have a conversation between this guy named David, who we've never seen before, and Leo. And David actually used to date Hannah. So he was dating her in the pods. And basically, he told her that he was 5'9". And she basically said, was like, okay, that's cool. And then she just cut him out. Nothing, no explanation, no nothing, just cut him out. And I'm like, that's weird. And it was actually really weird. Yeah, you know what? This is going to be a spoiler. So if you haven't seen the episode, you're following me, which I don't know why you would do that at this point. But if you're following me and you haven't watched the further episodes, this is a spoiler. So spoiler starting now. She ends up picking, as we know, Nick. And I did notice during this that she's very hung up on the fact that he's only 5'9". And she says that while talking in the pods, he said he was 5'11". So she was okay with that because I think she's about 5'9" herself, maybe 5'8", 5'9". So she was perfectly okay with the fact that in her mind he's 5'11". So she now thinks that he lied about it. So I do wonder that if Nick told her he was 5'9", it wouldn't have gone anywhere. I do wonder if she has this limit in her mind and she doesn't want to be either the same height or taller than the man she's with. I do wonder. It's really interesting that this was actually brought up with that in hindsight. I do think I think again, that just kind of shows like her insecurities. It's not so much about the guy or how the guy will actually feel about her. Because she did say in that moment as well that it's not about her having an issue with a tall guy, but it's more about that guy having insecurities about being with a taller woman, which she's not incorrect about, but we'll talk more about that at that in that episode. So Brittany is crying because it brings back, with the guys that she's picked in her past, was always had options, always had someone else that they could have been with. And here she goes again with this other guy who's doing the exact same thing to her. So she talks to Leo. He knows he has to make this decision, but he's going to do that later. He's not ready to make that decision yet. And he doesn't want, he doesn't want to do it now. So he says, you guys are so different, but she wants to know, she wants to know what the decision is going to be. So she says, you know how I feel, but you won't give me anything. You won't give me something. And she's like, it's not just your decision alone. Like, I could leave too. She's not going to leave, y'all. Spoiler alert. But you said, oh, yeah, okay, y'all, guys. The way this fucker talks, the way he talks to these women, we thought Nick D was the suave F boy. Come on. Leo is. Oh my God. Okay. So there's going to be probably a lot of just back and forth between Brittany and Leo going forward because Jesus. So so when she says like, I could leave too, he says, fuck man, he said that so well. He said that so well. Like, fuck. Like, that's literally how he talks. Like, it's freaking stupid. And she said, I'll be fine. Like, I'll be fine. It's gonna be so fine. And he's like, yeah, I know, like, you're such a strong woman. Like, fuck. Like, seriously, this is how he talks. Like, oh, this is gonna be so good. Anyway, um, he's like, listen, let me tell you all the things I love about you, okay? Let me tell you all the things I love about you. And he tells her lists off these different things that he loves about her, and it's just so fucked. And she says, like, I am gonna be okay. She kind of wants to know, but he says, let me just, have that final conversation with Hannah, okay? And I will have an answer for you later. And she says, like, you can sleep on it if, like, you don't have to give me an answer, like, now. And he's like, God, you're so right. You're so smart. You're so smart. Okay, yeah, let's just have fun tonight. Okay, kisses, mwah, 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 mwah. Every fucking time, like, this guy does and I'm sorry, y'all, you're gonna have to endure it. Every time he did, like, he would do mwah, 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 kisses. Mwah, mwah. I'm like, what is happening? Where did they get this guy? Where do they get this guy? It's actually a shame, again, spoiler alert, that we don't follow them because what a shit show this was gonna be. What a shit show. We need a little shit show in this, okay? Because honestly, if you look at my predictions, I'm like, everyone's getting married. Everyone's getting married, okay? Everybody. Not everybody. Most. We need a shit show. I need a shit show. This is it. Oh, this is okay. We're gonna enjoy what we can though. So then we have Hannah and Leo talk, and he talks to her about a prenup because he would want someone to sign a prenup, and she says she's fine with it. She's okay. She's perfectly fine with doing a prenup. And Hannah talks about, her weight challenges. She, I think, was a pretty big girl or somewhat big girl, chunky, whatever, as a kid. And her mom, I think, had a very unhealthy way of handling that with her daughter and would actually lock snacks up so that she wouldn't eat. And she then in turn would kind of hide things away. Like she does say, I think it was to Nick, that she would kind of hide, like, you know, those Aunt Debbie snacks and stuff. So she would do that, which is not also good either. And she said that during COVID, like all of us, she gained weight, and she did lose it. She lost 45 pounds after, about a year before the experience. So she's had fluctuations in her weight. And he says, he's like, I don't care. Doesn't matter if you're 500 pounds. I would still love you. Sure, 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 my guy. And he does say that part of him, um, in falling in love is saying the words that he's falling in love or whatever, or I don't know. And he says that he does listen to this, y'all. He does say that he doesn't want to say it to anyone yet until he knows who he's proposing to. Okay. That's a great way of going about it. He's about to kill his own thing here in about a second. Then he does the okay, okay, bye bye. Like, again, where, why, where did you get this guy? This is okay. So then Hannah talks to Nick, and they are both financially kind of insecure. I don't know if he quit his job. I don't know if she did, but I don't know either he quit his job or he doesn't. He's in between jobs now or whatever. But they're not kind of in a secure place financially speaking. And she said that is a fear of hers. I think that's a pretty decently understandable fear to have. And she tells Nick about her mom locking the cabinets or talking about her um, struggles with her weight. And she says to him, that's kind of why it triggered me when you made like the comments about the bikini and stuff like that. Like, so it did trigger her. And as we know, and he says, I apologize. You are beautiful no matter what. And she says that this does feel good for her. So yeah. So we take a break from that and we go to normal people. So we got Monica and Steven. And she tells him about sleeping with her teddy bear, whose name is Rosa Jane. And he tells her, feel free to treat me like a piece of meat because it's sexy. And I said, did he just, did I just, did he just do something for me? Because that was kind of hot. It's really hot. Okay. So I like Steven a lot, y'all. Anyway, then he tells her, I love you. And he starts crying and she says, are you crying? And he's like, no, just I'm leaking. That's it. And then we got the reveal with Tyler and Ashley, and it's so sweet. And he says, I proposed, but I want to do this right. And he proposes again, gives her the ring. And he's like, he's probably thinking in his head, steady my heart because damn, you're gorgeous. And she loves the beard. She loves beards. Same girl, same. Listen, when a man has a beard, it just, especially black men, when they have a beard, it just, oof. As long as it's taken care of, has to be taken care of. So he shows her a little bit of his tattoos. He has a little bit of tattoos. And I'm like, again, that is hot. And he says, kissing her, it tastes good, like the best candy in the world. And he's really into her. And I think she definitely is too. But again, the women are kind of on the quieter side with the reveals. So he's like, yeah. So now we got Hannah and Nick again. And she tells him, you are so much better, I think, than people give you credit for. And he tells her that he is in love with her. And she feels the exact same about him. And she says, I figured it out today. And he says, so did I. And he's like, I'm going to be here for you. And uh, she, or he says, like, I'm crazy in love. And like, I think definitely, I wonder if Nick's kind of swag ways initially were just nerves because I really like Nick. I really do like him. And I definitely think this was the better choice for her. And um, so yeah, I'm all about them. So now we got Brittany and Leo, and he gave her a blanket with his cologne sprayed on all over it. Said they did like 40 of them, and I would be dying. But anyways, he asks, "So what kind of rings do you like?" And she says, "Well, I will only tell you if you're actually proposing to me." And he says that he wanted to kind of ask both of them or none of them. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense. And I agree. And he said he is or he says like he's like this with both of them or something like that. And she doesn't like this. She says, I want to leave. He's like, you could, but like I would rather you stayed. Do you mind if I just pick one? And he's like, let me think about like what kind of like ring you would like. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about vibes. What the fuck does that even mean? But let's talk about vibes, okay? Vibes. I think you would want something big yet simple. Petite, but big. What the hell? Like, what? Oh, man. A petite, big. Not gaudy, though. Not a gaudy one. Gold, because she likes the gold. She wants a gold ring. And he's like, I feel like you would like, in terms of the cut, square or oval. She says oval. He's like, God, I was gonna say that, but like I just didn't want to say the one thing. I figured you wouldn't want like a round one. Like I figured you wouldn't want that. So you're just naming off all the cuts of the diamonds? Did you want to add princess in there too while you're at it? Jeez. Anyway, he's like, I know you and you know me. And he's like, I should have just done it and not even questioned myself. Let's just forget that I even brought up this conversation in the beginning with, okay, okay, kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I told you you're all going to have to deal with it. We don't have much more with him, okay? I promise. And he's like, I'm not doing that, um, he's like, I'm not doing that to do it. No, no, no. But she says, I can't like wrap my little brain around like how he can be like feeling like his feelings like that for like two people. And she says to him, and I think this is actually really important, so I'm not going to say it in the voice. She says, she may never forget this, even if she says yes to him. And he's like, so would you feel insecure about this if we were married? Because like, I don't know if that would be great in terms of like a good foundation for us. And she's like, no, like I'm not saying that. Like, I don't know. Girl, you do know. You do know. And for whatever reason, you're letting it slide. She could do so much better than this guy. I really believe that. And he says, so she asks, so tomorrow, like, what happens? And he's like, I have no fucking idea what I'm going to do. We're about to find out what this idiot's going to do. Let's get to it. So going back to the quarters, he's like, oh, I just want to talk to Hannah. I just want to talk to Hannah. Like, she's my person. But Hannah's like, her picking Nick. Like, why does she want to reconnect with Nick? Like, I need to get like the answers about that. Like, what's up with that? But back at the women's quarter, she's like, y'all, I'm picking Nick. Yes, queen. Thank God someone has sense. And the thing is, I really think that Brittany is very smart. She has sense in her head. But for whatever reason, she's letting this dickwad get away with everything. Like, what is... Okay. So, I mean, I think I know why they didn't make the cut, because they knew people were going to hate them. Okay. Anyway. Or hate him. And then in turn hate the production company. So Hannah and Leo start their date, and she tells him, "So I love Nick. Um, you ain't it, basically." And I loved it. And she's like, "I wanted to get there with you, but I wanted someone who's going to be 100% about me." And obviously, he's proven to both of these women that he is not 100% about either of them. And he's like, "Fuck, Hannah. Did you feel that like I wasn't 100% with you? Sir, your word said you weren't 100% about either of them." And she's like, "Well, yeah." Like, am I crazy? And he's like, um, "Is it because like I'm dating like another person? Like, is that why? Because like you're dating someone else too." He's like, "I wanted both of you. Like, have you really made up your mind, sir? Have you? Like, what are you talking about?" I can't. And she says to him, like, "He loves me and you're not sure." And he says, "Hannah, like, I want you. I would have told you that I loved you if you wanted me to say it. No fucking shit. Why should she have to tell you this? You should just know." But the experience is, again, very fast paced situation here. Get on with it, my guy. And he's like, "You're not like anyone like I've ever met before. Like, what would you say if I asked you to marry me?" That is one of the most horrible things to say to somebody, because like I'm not even painting the picture very well, because like I'm like trolling him in the process, but poor Hannah is like bawling her eyes out. She's so confused. She constantly says, "I'm so confused. I'm so confused." She's crying. She doesn't understand what's kind of happening with it, because she basically tells him, "I figured you would just say, okay, deuces, have a great life. I'm happy for the two of you. I'm going to go over to Brittany. Like, it's fine." This is not what she expected, and it's very confusing. He is a manipulative asshole, and it's not fair to her, nor is it fair to Brittany. Like, I just can't. So it's like, "I want you to be my wife, Hannah. Is it too late?" Name of the episode. Yes, it's too late. It's too late now, baby. It's too late. Okay. Anyway, that's it for episode 3. That's it for this episode. So the episode's a little shorter than it's not like the first episode, because my God. But we have a pretty jam-packed episode 4 coming up. So that's basically it here. So again, next thing you're going to expect is going to be Love is Blind episode 4, 5. Which episode are we on? 4. Episode 4. I have gotten to episode 5, so I'm confused. So yeah, we're going to do episode 4 in the next episode. And then that's basically that. So that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps, every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, dot podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's with that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks.